Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Diverse Dialogues podcast. And guys, we have reached episode 40. Yep, we finally reached 40. I'm Mateo,
And I'm Ruben.
and for the 40th on the 40th episode, we decided to basically kind of ruin the whole greatness of the 40 by reviewing a film that came out 2 years ago that we watched about a week, 2 weeks ago.
About a week ago, yeah.
About a week ago. And it's probably, yeah, I think it might be the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. And that is Madam Web. Now, most of you have probably remembered the dog shit atrocity that was Madam Web when it first came out. The trailers were mocked relentlessly when it first came out. It was a meme fest throughout the entire thing. And of course, I didn't care to see it. He didn't care to see it. But after watching other people talk about it and say, "Oh my god, it's so bad, it's good," it's like, all right, I think we'll give it a chance. Because me and Ruben lately, I don't know if we talked about this before, but me and Ruben has lately been doing this new tradition of ours where every now and then we would watch either good or bad movies. And so far, I've loved it. I loved actually just watching movies. Well. It may cost a little bit, but it's okay. But yeah. And like I said, last week we decided to watch Madam Web for the first time, in full, and not through a reviewed clips and all that. Shout out to Nostalgia Critic. But yeah, Ruben, you want to say anything before we get into it?
Okay, so first of all, even though this is the 40th episode and we're talking about a shit topic, to be fair, what's our 30th episode was about what? Just Shapes and Beats or something?
Okay, fair enough.
And our 20th episode was one of the Pokemon ones. One of our many Pokemon videos.
So that means we got to have the 50th episode be at least somewhat meaningful to be the 50th episode, which we don't know yet, but we'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. Anyways, there's no questions between us for today because one, it's another review, and two, it's something Marvel related, which we did both. We did questions on both those topics. However, we do have a question for you guys to answer. Who is the target demographic for Madam Web? Because I, to this day, don't know the answer to that.
Well, Marvel, obviously. You could technically say that as the cop-out answer, but I don't even think even Marvel fans were even...
No, they don't. Another I was going to say cop-out answer, that being females, but I'm sure even they hate this movie as well.
Or they're like, oh, yay, more female representation of a movie. Oh, and it's bad? Alright, great.
I would say Spider-Man fans, but this character we're going to talk about had only one comic. And she wasn't even the main focus. Unlike Morbius and Venom. And also, one last thing to add. As you guys may know, foreshadowing, our previous podcast was about fandoms, and our final topic of that podcast was the alpha male community. So just to show that we are no way involved with that community, we watched Madam Web, alright? Because women are awesome. As for this movie, though...
No, it's insulting as fuck.
As for this movie, though, we're about to get into it.
So that we don't get flamed, he did not mean any of that, what he just said. Cause I feel offended for women from that statement alone. Alright, but yeah, like you said, no questions. No. Sorry, I'm just rethinking the movie. Like you mentioned, we're not going to do any questions, but that was the main question that we wanted to talk about before we get into it. But right now, without further ado, let's get into the shit show. No, not Fan Four Stick. The other one, Madam Web.
All right. So before the movie starts, it shows an anniversary logo for Columbia Pictures for the 100th year.
First off, congratulations.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there were other movies that had it too, but it was just funny for our first time realizing that it was with Madam Web.
Yep. Anyways, let's start the movie. So the movie starts in 1973. It starts off with a photographer taking pictures of this CGI spider, and right behind her, is a man who's basically the main villain. His name is Ezekiel, but for the sake of what's going to happen throughout this movie, we're going to call him ADR Man.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for it. So, out of nowhere, while this woman is taking a picture of this CGI spider, it rough cuts to her screaming in labor. And I mean rough cuts. She's just talking in one shot, and then she's just yelling because she's in labor.
Like, literally, the cut was pretty much like her about to take a breath, and then hard cut to like the groan of her being in labor. So it was like, oh.
Yes, that's exactly how it went. Anyways, they capture this spider in a jar, and you can really tell how shit the CGI is with this spider. Anyways, ADR Man looks through a journal about this unknown spider that can possibly give someone powers. So he takes this jar of spiders and kills everyone around him, except for the woman in labor who he just injured. And during this conversation between ADR Man and the woman in labor, this out of focus camera shot is like zooming in back and forth as it's going between both characters. Like, the camera work genuinely looks like something off of The Office for anyone who's seen that.
Like, very jittery, not like it's like trying to encapsulate. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but like an intense moment. But that's for like chase sort of ordeals, but like not for like a one-on-one conversation.
Anyways, as this woman is injured, some CGI spider people take her and carry her to some cave where she can. So a spider can bite her, which gives birth to our unfortunate protagonist, Cassandra Webb. But we'll just call her Cassie for this.
Played by Dakota Johnson.
Yep. So, fast forward to 2003, and trust me, we're going to remind you a lot. This movie takes place in 2003.
Fun fact, that was the year I was born.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, 2003, it starts off with Cassie as a paramedic, and she just, as she's driving by, some random girl who's skateboarding bumps into her and flips her off.
Random.
Yeah, random. Most definitely. Anyways, as Cassie's driving to some place, it rough cuts to them at a vending machine getting a Pepsi product.
Yeah, this is where we realize that the editing in this movie is pretty fucking dog shit, and I made Chronopocalypse.
Yes. So it just rough cuts to them at a vending machine getting their Pepsi product, and as she struggles to open this can, the family of the patient that she saved comes to her being like, hey, thank you for saving our mom or whatever. And the little boy, as a token of gratitude, gives her a drawing. And
what could have been a very sweet scene.
And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, her best friend is Ben, as in Uncle Ben.
Yep.
Yeah, just wanted to throw it out there. Anyways, Ben tells Cassie to be like, hey, come on, just pick up the drawing. And I guess Cassie doesn't know how to pick up a drawing or something? And this is where it showed, like, Cassie's a very antisocial person, making one wonder, why the fuck is she a paramedic of all things?
Like, she would be more fitting for, like, I don't know, maybe a dispatcher or something, just like someone behind, like a telephone in an office, not going out of their way to like save people if they're acting like they don't give a shit.
Maybe there's just some part in the medical field that impacts your freaking empathy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, New York had a low hiring rate, so they were like, oh, we'll just hire anyone.
Okay. Anyways, Cassie awkwardly accepts this paper, being like, I hate it or whatever. But speaking of hating, it cuts to Ben and Cassie eating Chinese food, and Cassie receives an invitation to a baby shower, and she says out loud, man, we both hate family stuff.
I remember you almost lost it at that one.
Yeah. So, as you guys may know,
God damn it.
We did a podcast of us reacting to Chronopocalypse, and one of the things I burst out laughing before was when Montana, aka Jacob, told the audience what his character is. Well, that's basically what just happened right here. And keep in mind, this is like the first 10 minutes of the film. She tells the audience she hates family-related stuff, but I think we already knew that, considering we already know she's antisocial.
And this is the part of the movie where me and Ruben realize that the dialogue in this movie is pretty atrocious.
Yeah. And funny thing, they're cracking a fortune cookie, and her fortune says, "You will. It's unfinished." Huh. That's ironic with this movie. It's unfinished. Anyways, they eat food, and then Cassie returns home and then sees a random girl. I just want to throw that out there. Cassie makes it to her house and feeds a stray cat, and she says out loud, "Us strays stick together." So it's pretty obvious this film follows the philosophy of tell, don't show. Anyways, she's going through her like old stuff or whatever. She finds pictures of her mom, and then this scene literally goes on forever. She's staring at the picture of her mom for like minutes, and then she finds a journal of all the spiders for minutes, possibly for answers. And then just rough cut to Cassie and Ben saving a guy who's about to fall off a bridge in his car. So, they get the guy out of the car, and then the guy's pulled out. Ben's safe. However, Cassie's still in the car, and she falls in the water, and then she dies. All right, we're done with this podcast now.
All right, guys, we'll meet you in the next one.
However, I will say, after we thought she died, yes, I'm throwing this in there. We were already so mad with this movie. We took a break watching just to get lunch. Yes, I'm throwing this in the podcast. We did that.
Because I was legitimately hungry, and Ruben was like, "Oh, we'll probably just get through it." And I don't know what was going on in Ruben's head, but I was just like, I want to take a break from this movie. But and so the minute that we were like, "Oh yeah, she died," let's. And then he's like, "Do you actually want to get lunch?" It's like, okay. And then we just fucking did.
Yeah. So yeah, that actually happened. We enjoyed our meals, and then we were like, oh shit, we have a shit movie to watch. So, back on track. After she falls in the water and we think she dies, it just shows her in like a void or whatever, and just shows a bunch of CGI shit.
Something.
Just random CGI stuff. Oh, that goes on for like 5 minutes, I think. And then she comes back from the water. Ben saves her, and she's alive again. And they're checking her vitals. Oh, that sounds familiar. Anyways, they're checking her vitals, she making sure her oxygen level's fine, and then it replays this scene again. So it makes you wonder, could she see into the future? 'Cause this scene just replayed, and she knows her oxygen levels. But anyways, to remind you what time period this takes place in, she says out loud, "I just want to go home and watch Idol." Because I think that's what people in 2003 said. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's a normal thing they said.
I wouldn't know. I was still developing.
Anyways, after they check her vitals or whatever, cut to ADR man, who, remember, is our antagonist for this film. He's just walking down an opera theater or whatever, and then picks up a girl and then takes her to his apartment. And they do stuff, and then he goes to sleep, and he has a nightmare about 3 spider women killing him. And he wakes up from his nightmare, and this is where it shows the amount of ADR that ADR man has. He wakes up, he says, "I've been having these visions, these dreams every single night." And you can easily tell what was recorded on the set and what was ADR'd.
And to be clear, not just because like you can hear like the audio difference, because obviously when you do ADR, it's tough to really make it sound like it was in that moment rather than just recording from like a distant camera. No, the lips don't even fucking match.
Right.
Like that's how bad it is. Like I've done way better ADR for our films than anything in this movie. And this movie had like way over millions of dollars of a budget, by the way.
Yep. Anyways, more ADR monologue or whatever, and then he just kills this woman with his poison that we'll definitely get back into. Anyways, cut back to Cassie at a baby shower, and she shows sass about some guy cooking burgers, being like, "Hey, those burgers aren't cooked correctly."
By the way, like it was also like so quick. He was like, those burgers are.
Yeah. Anyways, Ben's also there. Hands her a Pepsi, just in case you forgot this movie was sponsored by Pepsi.
We'll get to that later.
Hands her a Pepsi, and then Ben says the famous line that we all use for exposition, and I said at least 2 times in this podcast. As you may know, due to your injuries, you can take a day off.
If you guys are unaware of the "as you know" cliche, in many, many bad movies, or at least movies that did not have that great of writing, the "as you know" is basically a lazy way of just expressing out exposition without real any substance to it. So, for instance, let's just say, The Lion King did this. One of the Fantastic Four movies did this. No, yeah, one of the
X-Men Apocalypse
X-Men.
did this.
X-Men. Yep. Did I say the Avatar Last Man?
No, you didn't.
The Avatar Last Airbender movie also did that, where they say, as you know, you guys need to do this. So it's like the reason why it's bad writing is because if the characters already know, then why is it being said?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for instance, as you know, Ruben, you wear all black.
I know that.
So yeah, why would I have to say it out loud?
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, though, I think we actually did do an "as you know" when you did your Patience is a Crime.
We did. Oh my god.
And I didn't say anything at first because I was like, all right, you know what? We'll just throw it in there and we'll learn from our lesson.
Yeah. Oh shit. Well, anyways, as you guys know, this line is used in many bad movies. Anyways, back on track. So she shows up to this baby shower, and the pregnant woman, a mom of a certain hero that we all know and love, talks about they're gonna play games for this baby shower, and all the women are celebrating. They're like, "Yeah, let's get excited, yeah." Meanwhile, Cassie's just like, "Yeah, games." You know, really showing her sass, right? Again, making one wonder, why the fuck is she a paramedic? Anyways, cut to just them talking about, you know, their moms or whatever, how they remembered them. And Cassie just trauma dumps on all these women, being like, "Oh, my mom actually died giving birth to me."
Yay! Way to lighten a moment with a mother giving birth by telling your mother died.
Yep. Yeah, she goes on for like minutes, and then a balloon pops, and then everything just repeats again. And she looks around confused, wondering, can she see into the future? If you guys are going to get annoyed by this, I just want to let you know, this happens a lot in this movie.
And speaking of baby showers, I'm actually going to go to a baby shower soon, so...
Yeah.
Welcome, Miles. Anyways, moving on.
Anyways, as she has this vision again, wondering why she is so confused, everything just repeats, and then she's asked again, what could the baby's name be? And she's still confused, saying, I think I just had a case of deja vu. Anyways, rough cut to a middle of paramedic shit. She has more visions that go on for literal minutes, hearing echoes of voices, doing CPR on this one dude, seeing blood on this guy's hands, and it goes on for minutes.
Yeah.
And she has a vision of one of the ambulance cars driving off and getting hit by a truck. So what does she do about it? Literally nothing. And because of that, one of her colleagues is dead.
Yeah, literally, all she did was, I don't think you should do it. I have a bad feeling about it. It's like, just, and then the coworker, or, I don't even know what do you call?
I don't know, I just said that.
Colleagues. There you go, colleague. That's a better word.
Anyways, this guy dies, and then she puts in all her acting trying to save this guy. No, come on, I need you. Meanwhile, she has a bunch of jelly on her hands because it does not look like blood.
I've never seen. I don't think I've actually ever seen any other Dakota Johnson movies, or at least that I know of. But she did not give a fuck about this movie, and it showed.
It definitely shows. Anyways, cut to ADR man with a CGI spider, as well as this random assistant that he just has.
Yep.
It does not talk about it at all. He just has this random assistant. So ADR man tells her about 3 spider women that are out to kill her. So naturally in the year 2003, this woman.
That's actually a really good point.
Naturally, in the year 2003, this woman has a computer that can, just make faces of some people in this guy's dreams, as well as reverse back 10 years to see what they look like.
I didn't even think about that. I was already so angry with everything else, but that just adds more bullshit. If we had the technology back then in 2003, we would not be here right now.
Yeah.
And then what follows suit? ADR man doing ADR man things.
Yep. Saying something like, I don't remember the exact.
I came from nothing. Less than nothing. I will not give up.
Yeah, those exact words. And it's so fucking obvious. This dude's not even trying to sync the dialogue.
And it just makes you question, how bad was the first take? Or the take that they did when they wasn't ADR'd?
I don't know.
Did bro have did bro stutter did he have a voice crack? Why did you have to ADR that much?
I don't know. Anyways, cut to Cassie at an optometrist because she's been going through a lot recently. So what does her optometrist tell her to do? Watch old movies. Yeah, I think that helps.
Guys, if you're dealing with depression, watch videos.
Yes.
If you're dealing with stress.
Anyways, cut to her.
Breathe.
Anyways, cut to her back to her apartment. She's watching a Christmas movie in the middle of the summer. I think anyone who does that is a psychopath. And on the topic of psychopath, she's talking to a fucking Scrooge or whatever, being like, not all of us get happy endings. Really showing more of her psychopathy.
I always forget to turn off my phone.
Mm-hmm. She has more empathy for a fictional character than the people that she saves on a daily basis.
And her own family.
Uh-huh. Anyways, a rapid succession of random things happens. Scrooge talks, a random vase falls, and then a bird hits the window. And she checks on the bird that hit the window, opens the window, and the bird's not there anymore. And then she looks around, looking confused, making you wonder, can she see into the future? So she thinks to herself, I should open this window. This is not going to change anything. And by the way, I'm literally quoting what she says. This isn't going to change anything. She opens the window, bird flies in, and what do you know? The bird is alive. I guess he didn't die after all. Once again, I'm literally quoting her because she says it out loud.
I don't even think we're halfway through the movie yet, by the way.
No, we're not. We didn't even get to the main conflict. Anyways, cut to her at Grand Central Station. Probably the best moment. It's grand and it's central. Madagascar reference, by the way.
Yep. Didn't even realize how actually accurate that they actually, I said accurate actually 3 times in one time. I never realized that they did it near perfect in the Madagascar movie, so that was fun to realize.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, we're getting off topic. My bad. Anyway, she's at Grand Central.
We're trying to get off topic of a horrible movie. We want to think of something else that's better. Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. Anyways, during Grand Central Station, the 3 girls that we talked about earlier, the one on the skateboard flipping off the ambulance, the one with the family whose mom almost died, and the one at Cassie's apartment. They all just so happen to be there. I wonder what could be the answer to all this. So, anyways, Cassie goes on one of the subways, and she has a vision, making you wonder, can she see into the future? So she sits down and does not do anything and just looks around confused. And then it replays the same shit again, still looking confused. And then some guy playing on a PS Vita, to remind you, it takes place this is a Sony movie, even though the PS Vita came out in like, I'm sure way after 2003. And then replays shit again. Guy sits next to her, which by the way, that guy has all the room in the wall. Why do you have to sit next to her? And then a vision happens.
That's a good point. An empty subway in New York City.
Yep. And then another vision happens. So what does she do? She now tells these three girls to get out the subway. Mind you, this is like the 5th vision she had in this subway, and she's now doing something.
First vision, the first nerdy girl gets attacked, does nothing. Second vision, the other girl gets attacked, does nothing. Third vision, the third girl gets attacked, does nothing. And then a woman asks, "Are you okay?" Then does nothing. Then that guy that comes in and sits down next to her, which was actually a pretty funny thing. Like, why the heck of all people would you sit down next to her? And when there's like plenty of other seats in the thing.
Yeah.
You know the societal rule. You have to sit like a seat apart. But yeah, it still doesn't do anything until then.
Yes. So anyways, she saves these three girls, which looks more like a kidnapping. And then they get chased by a ADR Spider-Man. Making you wonder, how the hell did he get the idea of making that Spider-Man suit if Spider-Man didn't exist?
Spade-DR, man.
Yeah. So they go on another subway to avoid him or whatever. And, a bunch of lights start flickering or something. Because, that's definitely unique when something scary happens. And then they also drop in this one S-bomb with the... What's it? Holy shit, he's coming. Because, you got to have that one S-bomb here and there.
Made a PG-13 movie. Oh, yeah, by the way, him having a Spider-Man-esque design before the actual Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Anyways, ADR Spider-Man kills a bunch of cops, and then the four girls escape via taxi, and she's literally kidnapping them, but whatever. She's our hero for this movie. And as they're escaping in this taxi, we learn these three girls' names. You got Julia, Anya, and Maddie, which, by the way, I literally had to check in the cast because I literally forgot all their names. Anyways, as they're driving away, Cassie turns on the radio to hear a bunch of crazy stuff happening at the Grand Central Station. And she is surprised that she's wanted for kidnapping. She is surprised. Being like, wait, what? I didn't do anything wrong. Even though she literally kidnapped three girls, but whatever.
On top of that, I think they were all underage. Or that's what supposedly the movie was supposed to be.
Yeah, they're all teenagers.
Which makes it even worse.
Yes.
So why the fuck did you... Oh, I mean, we obviously know why, but...
Uh-huh.
Why are you surprised?
Mm-hmm. So, because of all this, Cassie as well as these three girls, they need to lay low. So they go into the forest and they start camping.
What is this? If you know, you know.
Yep. So the three girls are like, hey, wait a minute. Don't we all know you? And then Cassie's like, I have the ability...
Same Phoenix.
So Cassie is like, I have the ability to see into the future. So she just now realized that.
And of course, they didn't believe her, right?
No.
Because of course they did. That's what every cliche. You said they have a superpower, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't believe you.
Yeah, and they literally threw a rock at her being like, oh, see, she couldn't predict that. Huh, kind of reminds me of Spider-Man No Way Home when MJ threw bread at Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. It does work, just not on bread. So So she gives exposition about ADR man, about wanting to kill these three girls or whatever. So what does Cassie do? She leaves them in the forest. So as she leaves in the forest, she drives home in her taxi and removes the license plate. Because, that's definitely not going to catch some eyes. A taxi missing a license plate. And she returns home to learn more exposition about the spider thing. So she learns that the spider gives this guy powers, and which also means she possibly has powers, even though we knew that. Anyways, cut back to the three girls in the forest. They're gonna leave the forest so that they can stop by a nearby diner. Because, Maddie is a very hungry person. You can definitely tell just by looking at her appearance.
Also, another fun fact: I like that they were in a diner that looks like it was from like the like like night like 90s. Yet it's 2003.
Yeah. I mean, there's still diners to this day that look like that.
True.
Anyways, they go to a diner, they eat, and they meet some boys over there. Or
Way to
whatever.
keep a low profile, by the way.
Yeah.
Rogue girls going rogue? What?
Uh-huh. Anyways, cut to freaking ADR man tracking them nearby a diner, something, I don't know.
They see, like, the thing the ADR guy, like, finds signals of, like, oh no. A random civilian calls the people's like, hey, I think I see the girls that got abducted. And then ADR man then tracks down that phone call and, like, the police, like, going after them. And then he goes there before the police does. And oddly enough, I find it funny how the police just never show up.
Yeah.
Even though they were called.
Anyways, cut to Cassie returning to the forest, and they're not there, so she goes to the diner, and then ADR man comes out of nowhere, beats the shit out of Julia, and then stabs Cassie. But wait, it was all a vision, making you wonder, does she see into the future?
And it's not like they do it subtly or like they do it like quicker because, you'd eventually get tired of like, oh, is this real or is this just another fucking flashback? So these see into the future moments, they go on for like a good while.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention during that vision, as ADR man's beating these people up, he walks on the ceiling and walks through the ceiling fan. I think. I don't know. We looked at the footage like 3 times, but it looks like he's walking through the ceiling fan. But I don't know.
That might be just us being dumb, but if you guys see it too, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah. So anyways, because she realizes it's a vision, she turns back to her car and they play Toxic by Britney Spears. Which, by the way, that song came out in 2004. This movie takes place in 2003. And I also want to point out, one of the reasons they picked this specific year was that they can use Toxic by Britney Spears. I cannot believe I researched that, and I'm probably never going to use that info for the rest of my life. Anyways, cut to the 3 girls at the diner with the boys, and then they start dancing on a table, because, that's definitely something normal when a brand new song just plays on the freaking radio or some shit.
And she also goes, oh my god, I love this song. Even though it just came out.
Uh-huh.
Or didn't even like it's like I think they played it off like, oh, this song is about to drop soon. Here's the song itself. Like they practically mean that they just like basically teased it or something.
Uh-huh.
Like they just released it. How are you gonna say I love this song?
Yeah. But yeah, these 3 girls are dancing on a table or something. I don't fucking know anymore, dude.
Let's actually take a minute to like describe these 3 girls. You get
okay.
like,
so you have Julia, who has a hard time making decisions.
Looks nerdy, played by Sydney.
Sydney
I mixed the 2 names together. Sydney Sweeney, which. That's another problem that eventually will become later on in this this movie. It casted Sydney Sweeney, so.
Yep. Anyways, next is Anya, who's some Hispanic girl who's really, really smart.
I wish I remembered her the actor name.
Uh-huh. And then there's Maddie, who eats a lot. You can tell by looking at her.
So we got the nerd kid, the smart kid, and the punk kid.
Yeah.
Yet they all just look like only Sydney Sweeney looks like a legitimate nerd. Everyone, all the other two look like just generic, like just whatever. They don't really like. I find it funny how Sydney Sweeney is the nerdy looking one, yet the other one is the more smart one.
Yeah.
Really just goes to show that they really took their time in developing these three girls. It's like they were not thrown in the last minute or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I mean, it feels like it, though.
Yeah. Not even the Chronopocalypse cast is this one-dimensional. Anyway.
I don't know.
Except for one character. Anyways. So Cassie, instead of walking to the diner like she did in her vision, she drives via car. And ADR man arrives there first while Cassie runs him over with the car. So, like, did Cassie take the long route? I mean, then again, it wasn't a forest, so no way she can drive a car in there. Anyways, runs ADR guy over and then saves the three girls. And then she yells at the three girls for being impulsive, entitled, and not listening. Huh, those three characteristics sound familiar to a certain someone.
Oh yeah, by the way, they also they showed a shot of the broken skateboard as if that was anything important.
Yeah.
Like right before they were about to go back in the
yeah.
And also the shots of the taxi were the exact same shots from the first Taxi Drive. Like they did not change anything.
Yeah, the three girls are even singing the same spots.
Exactly.
Yeah. So after all this, ADR man gets up and now he wants to find Cassie. So cut to the four girls at a motel and it randomly shows a shot of ice through the door. Yeah, that aged like milk. Anyways.
And even with that horrible timing and why?
Yeah.
You could have just had a regular shot. You didn't have to have. Yeah, sure, cool. We now know that there's an ice machine there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it important?
Nope. Anyways, they make it to their motel room, and this is where they all give exposition on their families. Julia talks about how her mom's in a psych ward, and her dad is, I don't know, something. So she's all alone. And then Maddie gives exposition on her family. They're living in another country, so she's all alone. And then Anya gives exposition on her family. Her dad got deported. Damn, that's really tough considering what we just saw a few minutes ago. So she's all alone. So they start building connection and they ask Cassie for help. Mind you, this woman kidnapped these three teenage girls. They were stranded in the middle of the forest. Then they had to go to a diner because they were starving. Then they almost got killed by ADR man. And then she yells at them for being entitled, impulsive, and not listening. And they want to ask her for help.
You barely even know the girl.
Mind you, this all happened in the span of a day or two.
Not girl. You barely even know the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just said. They met in 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the chemistry is so damn strong after 1 day.
Yeah. Reminds me of this other movie we reviewed. When it comes to building chemistry. Anyways, after Julia asks her for help or whatever, what does Cassie do? Leaves. Yeah, leaves and goes to the diner to see visions of ADR man or something.
Yeah, she tends to do that a lot where she makes it her duty to try to make sure that these girls are safe from getting killed by the ADR man, yet she leaves them a lot.
Yep. So anyways, it's morning time and then Cassie gives exposition on ADR man's poison thing that he can release from his hand or something. So, and this poison can lead to cardiac arrest. So naturally, Cassie has to teach these three girls how to do CPR. So that's why she's a paramedic, even though there's a bunch of occupations in the world that you don't even need an occupation to learn CPR. But whatever. So after the whole CPR thing, she shows a picture of her mom to the three girls. And this picture shows both her mom as well as ADR Man. So Cassie thinks these two know each other. Yeah, she thinks they know each other.
And I don't remember exactly what it was, but the way that she delivered her line to say that this was her mother, that was so terribly done. I nearly screamed out loud, like in my house.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what it was. So badly delivered. It was like, yeah, and like that's my mom. That's her. It's like, oh, really? You had to tell us out loud that that's your mother?
Yeah. Anyways, after some exposition on her mother, we get more exposition about the spider people that saved her or something. So she gets the idea to go to Peru to find answers or something. So she asks Ben to take these three girls, leave these three girls again. But, Ben's under their care. And then Cassie's like, thank you, Ben. You asked for this. Yes, that was the delivery, by the way.
You didn't ask for this.
Thank you, Ben. You asked for this.
And yeah, and through magic, she ends up going to Peru and what feels like less than less than like an hour.
Yeah.
Because it's still like daytime in both time frames, huh? Because that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I actually don't remember where Peru is, but but you at least think that there were going to be, I mean, I don't know what day it was, what time it was in New York, but it certainly isn't the same in fucking Peru.
Yeah.
Anyway. It really makes you show that they did not really give that much effort in research, did they?
Yeah. Anyway, she goes there and then she has visions about spider people, but I think she's gotten used to it at this point. I don't know. And then she encounters one of the spider people that I guess updated their wardrobe because they're wearing modern clothing now. But whatever.
They forgot the CGI.
Yeah. Anyways, she learns more exposition about her mom and how her power works. And it shows more visions of basically what happened at the beginning of the movie. So everything I said earlier in this podcast about the CGI spiders, the guys getting killed, and then Cassie's mom getting bit by a spider so she can give birth.
So yeah, they just decided to show everything that we already saw before.
Yep.
Instead of, I don't know, doing something smart like, only show like bits and pieces of it at the beginning and then showing the entire thing later.
Uh-huh.
As like an epic reveal.
Yeah.
But no, they wanted to do something different.
Yep.
By being ass.
Yeah. So she learns that her mom, the whole reason she wanted to find this spider was because Cassie had some sort of neurological disorder. I don't know. So the only thing that could save her is some spider that can only be found in Peru. And then after Cassie learns all this, she looks to her old mom and goes, "You did it." Literally the delivery, by the way. And because of all this, Cassie decides now to be a good person.
Forget the fact that she was a paramedic and she was trying to save lives and everything. Now she's a good person.
Yes, now she's a good person. And, after learning all this...
oh boy.
The spider person guy or whatever tells Cassie some motivation or whatever, which I noticed this is very reminiscent to Kung Fu Panda 2, when Po learns about his past, about his mom dying or whatever, and then relives all through all of it. That Ram lady or whatever tells Po some quotes like, "Just because you had a bad past does not change your future."
Yeah, but that was done so well that hell, I still kind of cry at that scene.
Yeah, it's a really sad moment. Versus here,
you can't stop laughing.
Right. And I mean, I'm probably the only person that knows because I have not seen any other reviews being like, "Hey, this is very similar to that scene in Kung Fu Panda 2." But whatever. So, she learns more exposition about how her power works, and then the spider person guy tells her this quote. "When you take on the responsibility great power will come. Because, you know, they looked at I can't even talk anymore, dude. They looked at the phrase, with great power comes great responsibility. They looked at that phrase, right? They were like, wait a minute. What if we take the words power and responsibility and flip them? Genius. There's a small problem, though. Small problem.
Very, very tiny, tiny, tiny little problem with that.
So, if you have a lot of responsibility and you get great power, does that mean if you do a bunch of chores, like if you wash a bunch of dishes and you do a lot of laundry, do you get superpowers? And if anything, that changes the philosophy. Because if someone's very responsible, that means they have all the power. Like, I don't know, a dictator?
Yeah. And if that's the case, me being the leader of the diverse society, take on the responsibility of, planning shit and everything, I would be a god at that point. If that quote is real.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the worst quotes I ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Like, what was wrong about, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? So why the hell did you take an already, good phrase with great power comes great responsibility, and you're like, we want to be different.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you learn to take on the responsibility, great power will come.
Yeah, I'll take Uncle Ben's 30-word phrase from Amazing Spider-Man over this.
that if you could do good things for good people, or something like that, you have a moral obligation to do those things. That's what's at stake here. Not choice, responsibility.
Yeah.
At least there's more meaning to that than whatever the fuck that was.
Yep. Anyways, after a shitload of exposition, cut to Ben taking care of the 3 girls, and then this woman's water breaks. I wonder what this could lead into. So after they're rushed into the hospital or whatever, and through the cameras or whatever, ADR man is now tracking the 3 girls. Meanwhile, Cassie is back to New York in the span of hours or something.
Hold on, wait. You keep talking because I don't want to be dead space. But hold on. How long is a flight from New York to Peru?
What? 7.5 to 8.5 hours. Okay.
Just makes that entire thing even more Because if that was the case, those 3 girls would have been dead by now.
Yeah.
But no, they had to do some movie magic.
Yep. So anyways, Cassie magically comes back from Peru in the span of a few hours. And then, she noticed the 3 girls are missing because they all rushed to the hospital so that one woman can give birth. So Cassie notices that an ambulance stopped by. And what does Cassie do? Steal the ambulance. Yeah, this is
really, really, really staying strong to being a good person after learning about the mother's.
Yeah, bro. I really love this hero, by the way. This is a hero. Bro, I would trust Scarlet Witch to save my life than this woman. Anyways.
I at least know her powers are guaranteed.
Anyways. ADR man finds them while they're rushing to a hospital. And Cassie saves the day by driving through a Calvin Klein billboard and running into him.
Probably the only kind of cool shot in the movie, but that's about it.
So now there's a massive chase scene going on. Cassie gets these 3 girls into the ambulance, so we're getting a freaking chase scene now. And then Cassie gets a vision of what is basically the end of the movie. So what does Cassie do to save these 3 girls? Go into a warehouse filled with a bunch of fireworks. And go to this warehouse to light up a bunch of flares to light up all these fireworks.
Because nothing will go wrong after that.
Yeah. And these fireworks are so strong, they blew up a person-shaped hole in the brick wall.
Hold on a minute. this isn't this the same building that has the PepsiCo
It does.
like logo at the top?
Yeah.
Are these fucking Pepsi sponsored fireworks?
I think. I don't know. Everything's sponsored by Pepsi in this movie. So they blow up a hole and they go to the roof with the Pepsi Cola sign. And while they're on the roof, they also called in a helicopter to save all of them. And all of a sudden, she becomes Captain America by grabbing a piece of metal and using it as a shield. And mind you, these fireworks are so strong, they blew up brick walls. And not just by a little bit, they blew up a hole in the shape of a human. But this chunk of metal, no, it doesn't do anything to it. So, fireworks are blowing up, debris is thrown everywhere. So the debris is getting thrown literally everywhere except the main characters.
Yeah, literally no scratches on them whatsoever.
Uh-huh. So, the three girls, they're in danger. They're holding on to bars because they're about to fall off the roof or whatever. So Madam Web relives that same quote, when you take on the responsibility, great power will come. And then she can astral project or something. I don't know, because I think spiders can do that. I think that's what she does in the comics. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I'm glad that, the natural selection of spider powers went from her to just a spider sense.
Uh-huh. So anyways, a final battle goes on or whatever on the freaking Pepsi Cola sign or something. And then ADR man says, "You're just like your mother." And then she says, "No, I am my mother." Wait, what? That didn't happen. The fuck? Oh, sorry guys. I'm trying to add in some shit to make it more entertaining. So I guess this dude's spider sense like ran out or something because he got crushed by debris. And I think his super strength also ran out because he can't push this debris away. So the letters from the Pepsi Cola sign, they break the railing and then he falls off the roof. And what is his fate? He gets crushed by the P in Pepsi.
Pepsi saves the day, making it more superior than Coca-Cola. There's the message of the movie.
Yep.
It just makes you wonder, why the fuck did he had all those visions about the girls killing him if he was gonna die of a giant pea?
His brain couldn't process getting crushed by a pea.
Exactly.
No sane human being could process that.
No human can predict that.
Yep. So anyways, that guy dies and then Cassie also falls off the railing and she lands in the water because she's safe or whatever. But as she falls into the water and one of the fireworks going off, the same ones that literally blew up brick walls, hits her in the face and now she's blind.
That probably could have done a lot more, but yeah, well, just specifically have her eyes be blind now.
Yeah, and I think when she landed in the water, her spine broke or something because now she's paralyzed. So Cassie gets out of the water and the three girls, they do CPR on her so that, the same CPR they taught her earlier. And what do you know? Cassie is alive, but she's also blind as well because of the fireworks. I don't even care, dude. I'm talking about all of this. So, cut to a hospital where that woman whose water broke, she gave birth to the one and only Eddie Brock. Oh, wait, no, my fault, Peter Parker.
You know what? I have a theory now. This is not the Peter Parker that we all know. This is Spider-Man Lotus Peter Parker. Which would explain why.
Spider-Man Lotus. If you guys know what that is, you're a legend. And if you don't, consider yourself lucky.
It would make sense. I mean, like, if the world makes no sense, might as well.
Yeah, you're right. Anyways, Peter's born and then Cassie's in a hospital bed with the three girls. And then a nurse comes in and she asks, "Are you guys family?" Cassie's like, "Yes."
Oh, now you care about family.
Yes, they're my family. And then the nurse walks away. I would question it, but like, bro, is there even a point anymore? So now cut to Cassie in an apartment in her comic accurate suit. Oh, hooray. This movie's good now because she's wearing a comic accurate suit. uh, so, the three girls, they're living together, their family, whatever, and they ask Cassie, what is their future like? They're going to become three Spider Women that are going to be taking on, they're going to be fighting a bunch of toxic men. I mean, my bad, a bunch of super villains. And they're going to be so powerful. They're so brave. And and they're showing this montage of them beating up villains, by the way. And then Cassie ends the movie with the best part of the future. It hasn't happened yet. And the movie ends.
Because it never will.
We'll
and also,
never-
here's another thing. Madam Web has her, like, I'm assuming comic actor, or just a brand new costume at the end with the montage.
Yeah.
With a red suit.
Mhm.
But she's standing up.
Well, that's the astral projection thingy.
Oh, true. Okay. Yeah, they cared about that, yet nothing else.
Hey, that quote sounds familiar. Yeah, every single one of ADR Man's lines, they're like, yeah, let's improve this guy's dialogue, and literally nothing else.
Quote unquote, improve.
Yep. But yeah, everyone, that is Madam Web. Now, you guys remember in our Chronopocalypse podcast, when I said, before we watch the movie, I said, you can tune back to the Chronopocalypse podcast so we're not being like, oh, we can make a better film than Suicide Squad. I genuinely think Chronopocalypse is better than Madam Web. Because Chronopocalypse, it did not have that much exposition. There was not that much ADR. If there was, it had to do with a walkie-talkie. We did not have a bunch of sponsors. And again, we're just filming shit. We wouldn't have sponsors in the first place. And at least some of our characters have more character than just one personality trait.
And it's also cohesive, in a sense.
Uh-huh.
You at least can follow a story.
Uh-huh.
But meanwhile, with Madam Web, it's just a fucking mess.
All right, now keep in mind, guys, throughout this entire podcast, with most reviews, I just have my phone open and I actually wrote down scene by scene what happened. Yet as I was reading this the whole time, in my head I was like, wait, did this happen early? And I know it wasn't just because, I took notes of this and that of everything. No, I literally took notes of like basically every 10 seconds of that film.
And at the end of the day, it was a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the entire time I was just like, oh my god, like, it was just a lot of, oh my god, really? Alright, that happened. Like, I was practically just rolling my eyes I had the embodiment of my whole body rolling my eyes watching this movie. Because that's how bad it was. I'd rather fucking watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2 over this shit.
Yeah.
At least that one was a much more effort put in piece of like mess.
Uh-huh.
Compared to this, where it's just nothing and boring and like
And like I said, this movie follows the philosophy of tell, don't show.
yeah.
And that happens a lot, as you guys may know.
If you're gonna tell exposition, you might as well just be reading a book, not watching a movie.
Now that I think about it, I don't think Chronopocalypse had the quote, as you may know.
We improved that. No, I don't think we did anything like that. I mean, it's still like not anything like, it's not amazing writing by any means, but at the same time though, we didn't do any of those cliches, at least I don't think.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, rating from 1 to 10, fucking 1.
1.
Because at least it's not like unbearably bad, it's just hilariously bad.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But yeah, that's Madam Web, folks.
That is Madam Web. And that is going to wrap it up for today's podcast. Thank God we're done with this shit. I don't have to talk about Madam Web ever again unless it's about making fun of it.
Uh-huh. And keep in mind, we're still tuning back into the reviews, okay? And there's still one more comic book movie we were thinking about reviewing, that being Fantastic. So don't be surprised if that's under our radar at some point.
That will probably happen soon. And that's going to wrap it up for episode 40. As for future podcasts, like I mentioned, there's Fantastic. But what else could we expect?
So once again, if we get Connor, if he's available at some point, we're gonna be talking about our school stories, the generational gap, everything that happened between his generation and our generation when it came to school. And once that's over, or if it's not that, we'll talk about pet peeves, and I think that's about it.
Other than other movies that we've watched as well, so.
Yeah. The Minecraft movie, we're considering that for a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, no. There's nothing really else to say. I'm just kind of burnt out by this shitty movie.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I was doing the talking most of the time.
Yeah, because he had the phone, he had all the notes ready to go, and I just chimed in.
This is basically a reverse of what happened in the Amazing Spider-Man podcast, where he was doing most of the talking, and I was burnt out, even though I didn't talk that much.
Practically. But on that note, guys, I'm Mateo.
And I'm Ruben.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Jesus Christ.